streaming. Okay, there's a stream up. Let me see if I can get this link.
Okay.
Let's see. Because I have no idea how any of this stuff works. Where's the, where? Okay.
If you're looking at the YouTube thing, there's a
Oh,
share
wait.
thing in the top right.
I think I clicked on it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Alright.
All right. Sorry about that.
We are so back, I think. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll just go on after this video in 30 seconds, and I'll read the chat for you and try to keep up. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. Okay. Alright.
or do you have the chat up?
I. It's on my phone. Well, I don't want to risk, like, lowering my internet or anything like that. So, I guess
Okay.
if you can, you can help with that.
All right. I mean, yeah. It probably wouldn't. It would probably be fine, I would imagine. But yeah,
Yeah. uh,
whatever you want to do, I'm here to help, however I can.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can, yeah. Be the side commentator. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let,
All right.
let, all right. Is it all
All right.
working? Is it all good? Is everything working functionally? All right, we're so back. Okay. Speak
Oh,
up. Okay.
well, Corp always has his volume down, but yeah, maybe turn your volume up a little bit if you can.
All right, let's yeah, I can do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right, does this sound good? All sound good? Everything all good. Strange good? Sunbeams? Yes. We are so back, baby. Alright, let's do this. We wasted enough time. Alright. Mare bars. A treat in the making. A whole new ambitious project in the works that I have randomly decided to come up on a whim. Look at that. The sunbeam. She loves the chocolate. They all love it. What is a mirror bar? What are we doing here? What am I doing? All right. Okay. So I have this all on an art software because screw PowerPoint and I want to draw on my presentation. Okay. So what is a mirror bar? That is actually pretty simple. It is a homemade Mare Fair themed chocolate bar. Take a nice, good look at it. Like, there's dark, milk, white, all of that. Not
These are
affiliated
real?
with. Yeah. I mean, they are now. They're going to be real now. um,
I've actually tried one, and they're good.
Yeah, not affiliated with the Mayor Fair itself. We have to be clear on that. This is a whole project entirely independent of it. It's just that's what it's gonna be based off around. So yeah, like the specs. How big is a Mayor Bar? How big will it be? 6 inches by 2.686 and quarter of an inch. And in comparison to the other bars, I have made a little chart here. So you can see the the size comparisons of all the other bars, or at least like that I know of. I only know like a few bars. Are they better than Mr. Beast bars? I've never actually tried a Mr. Beast bar. Yeah, it's like I've honestly never tried a Mr. Beast bar, and nor do I have any intention. Why would I need to do that when I have a Mare bar? Well, I can make my own chocolate. I don't need that. But and oh, and of course, the what other than that, the prototype. This is what the prototype bar. That's what it looked like before, with a block of epoxy and some foam to make a mold out of. it's it's
Someone asked if you could make some with real mare milk.
oh That is an interesting question. Actually, we can get into that sort of detail in a little bit. Actually, I am gonna explain what you could and can't put in inside of a chocolate bar. Mare
Ooh,
milk. That
okay.
that is an interesting That is an interesting thought. Now that you bring that up. Anyways, but along with the bars, it's not just gonna be the bars themselves. They'll also have aluminum foil nicely wrapped in and wrappers. Here, you can look at a preview at some of what these wrappers will look like. They are currently still in the works. They are pretty much like 90% done, but I can tweak and modify them as I wish. So, yes, the paper sleeves that you like a normal chocolate bar you would wrap around with the foil. Like there's that. And if you just upside down, there's the nutrition facts, and there's all the nice little ingredients, and there is all. Look at this. This is so glorious. uh, I had a little too much fun with all this. So let's see. Oh, of course, the biggest question: What is what is chocolate? that is that is a good question. That is the really the biggest thing that anyone has to know. What is it? Other than just a bunch of cocoa beans and stuff that you just throw into the grinder. But yes, what is chocolate? What is real chocolate? Is this real chocolate? I don't know. So, real chocolate. It's made from, of course, cocoa beans, ground them up into cocoa liquor, which is essentially cocoa solids and cocoa butter put together. Compound chocolate, that's another term. That's probably something you haven't heard. If you have, congrats. That's cool. Compound chocolate is not made with cocoa butter, or maybe has very little of it, using an alternative oil instead. And a perfect example I can give you is this Hershey bar, this milk and cookies Hershey bar. And as you notice, where's the cocoa butter in all of this? There is none. There is palm oil and other stuffs. There is no cocoa butter. None at all. This is compound chocolate. It is not real chocolate. None at all. But what other oils are there to use anyways? I hate seed oils, base, slough. We don't want any of that. So here is some solid oils that you could theoretically use. I did use like originally for the prototype recipes, I did use coconut oil because it's cheap and it helps me hone down the flavor, right? Because I don't. Cocoa butter is expensive, by the way. I'm just letting you know. So, if you want to use more cocoa butter, it's gonna use a lot. It's gonna cost a bit. So that's why I went with coconut oil originally. And there's the melting points. That is why they are nicely suitable. I say cocoa butter is not quite accurate, but it's also technically correct because the science behind cocoa butter is very interesting, actually. So, there's more than one type of form cocoa butter can be into. If you've ever heard of the whole chocolate tempering process, then that is the whole reason behind it. Because some oils are polymorphic, they come in different forms. Cocoa butter is one of those forms. It has 6 different forms, actually. And I'll give you the melting points for all of them. And specifically this one. Type 5. This is what we want. You want this. This will get you the gloss of the chocolate that you see at the store, the gloss, the snap, the melt in your mouth texture. All of this, all these others are an inferior, and this one does not exist in any form unless you let your chocolate sit there at room temp for months. Why would you do that? So, you might be wondering, why these different forms? Why so various temperatures? That is a good question. Something chemistry, but I can explain this chemistry with stick mares. I've explained it all with stick mares.
Ooh.
Yes, As you can tell, the phase 1 chocolate, it is very, they are trying their best. They'll hold on. they are they are they are weak. It does not take a lot of energy to make these little fellas break apart. And with each phase, they get more interconnected, and that raises their melting point more and more until you get the one that you need. This one. This is, look at them. They are happy. They are nicely content, step by step in line. They don't have to hold on to each other. Phase 6, it gets a little crowded, but don't worry about that. You'll never have to worry about this phase, like, ever in any sort of chocolate melting process. So, that's all good. You don't have to worry about this one. You do have to worry about these. But, we can get into that process literally right now. What is tempering? Why do I have to do it? Yes. Uh, Basically, why do we have to do this? It's to get the most proper crystal phase. Number 5. Untempered chocolate, dull. It melts. It blooms. You'll learn that in a second. And does not snap good, if at all. It is. You cannot make a chocolate bar out of untempered chocolate. Trust me, I tried. Did not work. It's a mess. Unless you throw it in the freezer. But the tempered chocolate requires first melting the chocolate completely. You let it cool down to a crystallization temperature. Then you heat it back up to melt out those crystals that you do not want. So you can only have the one that you need. It is quite as simple as that. Yeah, you can see here, this is a nice, shiny, glossy chocolate JPEG, along with the inferior form, the one you do not want. It looks terrible. You will never enjoy this chocolate. But tempering, there's various ways of doing it. You can use a slab. You can use normal bowls. You can use the microwave. You can use seating. It's all temperature manipulation at its core. So as long as you have a marble slab, a bowl, maybe a lot of time, maybe you are rich and you buy like a $10,000 tempering machine. I don't know why you would do that. Or maybe you already have some existing chocolate and you throw that into the mix. Is everything good so far? Yes. Marble? Yes. If you have a marble slab, don't use marble pie, by the way. She's too warm to effectively temper your chocolate with. So, just saying. Tabling, bowls, all that stuff. You can use a hair dryer. It doesn't matter how you heat up and melt your chocolate with. As long as you can do it, it can be done with enough time and patience. Test your chocolate. If you do it all right, you stick a spoon, you stick any sort of metal object in it, you take it out, you let it sit there for 5 minutes, and if it looks decently solid, boom, it's done. It is nicely tempered, it is ready to go. And here's a little chart to kind of explain to you the gist of it. The different sorts of chocolate have different tempering temperatures because apparently, when you put in milk fat and all that stuff, it kind of makes like an oily alloy, because the cocoa butter and the milk fat is essentially in of itself both type of oily substances, and they kind of just change the melting point of the chocolate. It's a little interesting, but don't worry, as long as you have this, as long as you test, it should be good. And it is possible also to temper pure cocoa butter if you just have that around. If you do that and you grate it, that is the most perfect way to temper your chocolate every time, is if you use the seeding method. It's kind of a weird hack if you're using the seeding method, because it's way harder to temper your chocolate from scratch, like without anything, than if you had some existing chocolate and then you just threw it in. And it kind of helps, that existing chocolate kind of helps those crystals to just kind of grow. And once you're done with that, actually, jumping over to this next process, you'll never have to worry about this process. But I'll mention it now just in case if you are interested in this whole chocolate tearing process. There's a whole thing called conching, which is grinding the solid particles for hours to get a smooth texture. It helps express those flavors in your chocolate more. The Mare bars currently do not go through this process, so they will feel like a little grainy. If you haven't noticed that, perp, when you tried your little sample, there's a bit of grittiness to it. It's not exactly the best quality. Like, if you want the highest peak quality chocolate in the world, this is the only way to do it. It is expensive, but if you don't want any grittiness in your chocolate at all, it's the only reliable sort of equipment to get, and they are like $200, $300 at a minimum. So take your pick, cause
Wow.
yeah, they are expensive. They are expensive machines. um, but yes, and of course, if you're making chocolate with cocoa nibs, like the actual cocoa beans, you will probably need this to actually liquefy your chocolate and all that. You're gonna need that. But when you and you also throwing in all the other sorts of ingredients, but what other ingredients though? What other ingredients can you put? What is the ratios of chocolate for the most part? So here's a little composition, a little ingredient list of just the various sorts of chocolate that you might see around. Real chocolate, real. I'm not talking about that Hershey's BS that I showed earlier, or regular Hershey chocolate in general. I think because I don't know what they do with it, but it's awful. It is
They
not.
have some kind of they have like a different process. I remember reading about it at some point, but it's a
Yeah,
process that like leaves a bunch of acid in it that makes it taste totally different.
yeah, it makes it taste different. Like it's not even that. It's like it's not the flavor in it. So it's just how it behaves. I don't like it. Like because when I went to make some prototype bars, I used Hershey's chocolate originally, and it did not. It did horrible. Like setting in the molds. There is so much. It's cursed. I don't know what they do with it, but yeah. But yes, Hershey's has like butyric acid that changes that flavor to have a weird sour tang that most Europeans do not like, but us Americans we're used to that sadly. So here's the compositions of real chocolate in general. Yes, this is real chocolate in of itself. Ruby chocolate is very interesting with the fact that it is made out of cocoa beans. Like this is a natural pink color because the cocoa beans look like this. They are actually purple, pink-ish. So they throw a little bit of that into this recipe, and apparently it makes it pink. And it's a very intriguing thing, from what I can tell. But it's only one manufacturer around, I think. Like, so there's very little to no odds of me ever actually making my own homemade ruby chocolate. I would have to buy it from like the actual only manufacturer. That's why there's only one reference.
Dang.
I know. But yeah, pink chocolate isn't too new. It's been around for a few years, but it is there. So if you see that, it is real chocolate. You can give it a try. It's apparently its flavor profile is very interesting. And here's the composition of the Mare bars themselves. What are they made out of? What is each composition? I'm not telling you the recipe. I'm just telling you the ratios. So you could theoretically copy all this and make your own Mare bars with the same flavor profile. Don't worry, there will be a test after this. No, I'm kidding.
How
Anyways,
long did it take you to like was there a lot of like micromanaging, manipulating it to get it to taste just right, or was it pretty easy to just figure it out?
you can kind of figure it out. Like initially, it does take like a little bit to kind of think. essentially, I kind of take a look at this for reference at what other chocolates are made out of. I take that as a reference of what it should be. I make my like rough recipe of it. I give it a try. If it tastes good to me, I'll stick with it. If it doesn't, I don't stick with it. And originally, um, the first batch didn't really quite taste as good as I liked it to be, so I kind of changed the stats a little, and it turns out perfectly. And yeah, it turns out fine. Like eventually, tweak, you can tweak around. That's the fun part, is that you can tweak around with the recipe as much as you like, and you can get the the chocolate that you want. This is technically 52% chocolate, dark chocolate. So is this like, or is this 54? Yeah, that's 54 technically, because if you notice, 70% chocolate, 50% chocolate. That's based off of the how much cocoa solids and butter is in it, how much cocoa, actual real cocoa substance is in it. So yes, as I'm sure is a hot take for some people, white chocolate is technically considered to be real in a way because it has cocoa butter, unless you don't have it at all, then it's a lie. But maybe that's why the cookies and cream Hershey's doesn't say that it's white chocolate. So, I mean, yeah. And that is your average cocoa bean percentage. This is what your cocoa bean typically has, by the way. So that's a good thing to keep in mind when you're making your own chocolate from bean to bar, as what they would say. And let's talk about the issues that you might come across when you're making your chocolate. Like the very first example would be seizing. What is it? Can I fix it? Seizing is basically what happens when water gets in your chocolate. When you melt your chocolate, let's say you're using the double boiler. You're using, a pot of water that is simmering, and you use a glass bowl on top to melt your chocolate with. That is the most typical way of doing it. Let's say, for some reason, a drop of water falls in your chocolate. This is what's gonna happen. It gets all grainy, it gets clumpy, and then it becomes unworkable. You can't use this anymore. It, you could fix this by stirring in a tablespoon of boiling water, bit by bit, until it's smooth. That's how you fix it. But the only sad issue with that is that that chocolate is too watery to be used for a bar. So all those people out there that wants to come in their bars, you can't do that. It'll never work. Unless you make some chocolate sauce or ganache or something. You can't make it into a bar, but you can make it into a ganache, which is why I am not trusting anyone who offers me chocolate ganache.
That's a good bit of knowledge to walk away with.
Yes.
Don't try the chocolate
do not
ganache at Mare.
do not try anything. Do not try any chocolate sauce or whatever. If someone shows up to some room party at a convention of, hey, I made some chocolate sauce and some strawberries for y'all to dip it with, don't do it. Do not trust it. You do not trust it. It is lies and deceit. But what if I want flavoring in my chocolate? What if I want to put something else in my chocolate? What if... Then you can use oil-based flavorings. That is the safest way to flavor your chocolate without it seizing. Because chocolate, at the very most fundamental, is just a block of fat. It's a block of oil. For the most part. There is no water in it. It is all oil. So if you put some oil in it, it's all gonna be fine. If you put vanilla, it might be fine as long as your vanilla extract doesn't have any like water or alcohol, maybe. Going back to the topic on hand, Mare milk, you could theoretically put this in there if it's in a powdered form, which most chocolates use to make milk chocolate anyways. It's milk powder. They don't put any actual milk in it. That's how you get like hot cocoa or something. I mean, sure, that's good, but it's not for a bar. But yeah, if you have a powder, you can throw that in. much to your discretion. Yeah. If it's a powdered form, it'll work. Where there's I don't know where would anyone get Mare milk? Well, I guess I'm not gonna question it too hard. But anyways, let's see. And the next issue that you might get while working with chocolate is bloom. Why it happens? What to do? Have some examples I have had on my own while doing this whole chocolate project stuff. So there's two kinds. The sugar bloom, fat bloom. One's caused by moisture, the other is caused by warm temperatures. Uh, it's still edible. It just won't look pretty. That's really much it. It just won't look nice. You can easily fix all this though. You can just melt it, retemper it, pour it back in your mold. That's all you
Does
have
it
to do.
change? Does it change the texture?
It changes it slightly on the surface. That's pretty much
Okay.
it. Just on the surface, because this is really much the whole. So sugar bloom is caused by moisture. I mentioned that, but how that happens is that if some of it gets into your, the surface of the chocolate, like as mentioned before, seizing is what happens when water gets in your chocolate. So let's say that if you were like me and you throw your chocolate in the fridge so it firms up better so you can pull it out of the mold, pulling out your bar of chocolate from the fridge, it's all cold, easy to work with. But if you're like me and you live in a place where it's a little humid, condensation happens on your chocolate, and no matter how fast that you are at wrapping your bar up, yeah, it'll still bloom, sadly. But the fat bloom. What did I do to make it? What did I do? Um, I did nothing, but I sat this bar behind my laptop, and when you open up Google Chrome on your laptop that is like 10 years old, it turns into a jet engine, and it'll do this. So, more of the story. Don't pull out chocolate from the fridge if you live in a very humid place, and don't leave your chocolate behind your laptop. That is
Well, I'm kind of surprised that the fat just bloomed instead of the bar melting, or did it kind of melt too, or
the
is is the point that the fat blooms before the point that it melts?
yeah, it melts on the surface like just a little bit.
Okay.
Because the thing is, because here's the thing, like the cocoa powder and the sugar and stuff, that doesn't dissolve in the cocoa butter. Those don't dissolve in that sort of thing. So when the cocoa butter melts a little bit, the sugar and the cocoa solids, they sink, and the cocoa butter
Mm,
rises, and it cools
okay.
and solidifies on the surface. That's what you're seeing there. That's why that happens. So, is it you need food dehydrator machines to milk turn into powder. Yeah, you can make milk powder by just like either freeze drying it or like dehydrating it, whichever way you get there. Figure that out. But you can just buy milk powder at the store. It's relatively easy to get.
I
But
think they're still on the mare milk, but I think powdered mare milk is a lot easier to find than liquid mare milk anyway. So
yeah, yeah. It's like where are you supposed to get real marrow milk, anyways?
someone
Okay.
someone posted a link, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Let me look into that. No, I'm kidding. Oh, where am I? I don't know. Well, I guess I can experiment and stuff at some point. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. So you got all your chocolate. You didn't get any issues. Now it's time to do the molding. Molding your chocolate. It's not that hard. You just, once your chocolate's tempered, you just pour it in the mold. But, you know, try not to overfill it. Don't, like, I mean, yeah, it's fine if you do. Don't overdo it. Just a bit. If you know how much the mold fills up, that's a good reference. A Mare bar is actually a quarter of a cup. So, that's helpful for me, at least. So if you eat a Mare bar, you just ate a quarter of a cup of chocolate. So the more you know. So once you pour it in the mold, give it a shake. Oh, okay.
Hold on a sec.
Reconnection is successful. All right.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay,
We're back.
we're so back. We're so back. Okay, okay. Yeah, don't touch the chocolate when you pour it because crystal formation is sensitive. If you like, so if you like poured your chocolate and you use like your little spatula or something to like quickly like smooth out the chocolate, you're gonna cause it to bloom. So like for this example right here that I found on the internet, that is essentially what happens if you messed with your chocolate after you poured it. Don't do that. As you can tell, it's kind of easy to see what exactly went wrong here. It seems that they probably overfilled it a little bit too much, and they went to scrape the excess chocolate off. And if you do that, after some point of time, the crystals don't like that, and because you've essentially snapped them apart, and they have to figure out which order they have to reorient themselves into, and they'll just do their own thing, and that's gonna cause some massive blooming. Oh, and of course, here have the mold, the actual Mare bar mold. It is made out of silicone. The actual mold, the real Mare bar mold, it is made out of silicone. Yeah. Um, there are other different types of molds. There's probably like something like plastic or polycarbonate. Is it moldy? No. Thankfully, no. Please take care of your molds when you're using them. Don't make them moldy. Please don't make your molds moldy. That's not good. We don't want blue cheese flavored chocolate. But you might be wondering, but but Anon,
Oh,
what
loading again?
is it loading? We're back. We back? Don't get your molds moldy. Are we back? Yes? No? Good? Okay. Good enough. They're trying to shut us down.
Yeah, we're back.
We're so back. Okay, let's. They don't want us. They don't want us to Mare Bar. Uh, you might be wondering, what if your chocolate's too chunky? It's like, what if it's too viscous? Well, you could fix that with some cocoa butter. But there is a very controversial ingredient that you could use. I'm gonna explain it a little bit. What exactly is this glorious ingredient that I will not use at all because I don't like buying extra things? That is lecithin. You've probably seen this a lot. You might be wondering, why is it in my goddamn chocolate? Why is it everywhere? It's essentially a yellowish brown compound that attracts both fatty compounds and water. So it's an emulsifier essentially. You can tell it is mostly natural for the most part. It's in plants like egg yolks, soy, sunflower, soy, soy. Yeah, it's soy. In chocolate making, it is used as an emulsifier to decrease the viscosity. It basically makes the chocolate more runnier. If you are a chocolate factory, if you've ever been into a chocolate factory, as it's pretty helpful to have that, so it doesn't gunk up the pipes and all that. Controls the sugar crystallization and stuff. But without it, you can just add in more cocoa butter to make it more, liquidy. I mean, it'll make it more expensive, but I really don't care. I don't want to use soy. I don't want to use less than that's extra. That's extra. You do not. We we don't use this at any with any Mare bars. At least with any that I make. You can add that into your own chocolate if you want to. That's up to you. I'm not I'm not a fan of it. I don't want to use it. So, what about the Mare bars? Have I ever actually done anything regarding them? I have. I have made a demonstration at HarmonyCon 2 weeks ago. Wow, it really is 2 weeks ago, isn't it? Okay. But yes, the demonstration, which I have made 7 bars. I'm honestly, quite frankly, surprised they survived the trek. It wasn't too hard. But the fact that TSA was perfectly fine with 7 foiled blocks together in a plastic bag, and they didn't care. So, okay, cool. I guess that's fine. Loaf. Yes, loaf. The bars, they were there. If you were there and you didn't see them, my bad. I didn't know that you were gonna be at Maricon or anything. But you better be at her fair. So, yes. The only objective was just to have people try the recipe, see what people think of the project overall, what people thought of the texture and all that. You know, overall, the general gathering data type bit. And as far as I'm aware, people actually liked the bars. People thought it tasted good. No one really minded the texture that much, which surprised me, and also gives me a bit of a sigh of relief that I don't have to possibly spend $200 or more on equipment. Overall, people also like the white chocolate too. That was something I noticed that I found interesting. So there were some suggestions. The dark chocolate should be richer, add more sugar. I may fiddle around a bit. The kind spirits, add that to the nutrition fact info, which I did. And if I go back to the wrappers, they now do have kind spirits on them. So, I am fast with tweaking all of that. So, I am fast. And there is overall pretty much 7 months for more development to make more molds, try out more recipes, see what I have to do. And so what about the plan? The actual plan to Mare Fair? Because this is what it's all really leading up to, isn't it? Yeah, that's kind of the whole point. So, what is the plan? The plan. Give us the plan. Don't worry. Just provide enough chocolate to transport for Mare Fair 2. The goal is to make 100 of them. Minimum. 100 minimum. 200 optimistically. That is a lot of chocolate. That is a lot. It is a lot of chocolate. Make all of it at home. Take it with me through the airport and all. And bring it to the venue. And then immediately get to work making Mare bars. Wrap them in foil. Put the paper sleeves on them. Repeat the cycle. Keep going until I made all the Mare bars I need. I need a lot of chocolate. It's a lot of chocolate. It's like 100 bars. I need like 12.5 pounds. So it's quite a lot. At least 10 Mare bar molds. Just, if I have more molds, the better. Because it's easier to work with. Yeah. Measuring cups, spatulas, food thermometer, a hairdryer hopefully, to melt the chocolate with. We're doing this in the hotel room, Breaking Bad style. We are gonna cook in the hotel room. And, for future reference, if you smell chocolate in your in your building, I am not sorry, by the way. So, just letting you know. If you smell chocolate, you're near the production room. So, the inventory, this is what I have currently planned, for the chocolate. If I were to make them all. You know, dividing the bars up. How much would I have of each? Depending on the amount of, bars that I make in the end of it all. Yeah, I don't really plan to make a lot of white chocolate, but if people do want that, then I'm more than willing to actually bump the numbers up. But, that's me. I'll see what the audience thinks of it in a bit. And I probably will need volunteers. Unsurprisingly. Because this is a lot of chocolate to process. Especially the whole shaking and evening out. Like, you only have like a minute before your chocolate gets like too set to work with in the molds. And if I'm having to pour in 10 molds at a time, I need to have someone to shake the molds to even them all out. So I'm gonna need a few nons maybe. One to cut out the aluminum foil for the bars. Maybe another person to go and wrap the foils and put the paper sleeves on them. It's gonna be a lot of work. It is a lot of work, actually. Don't worry. That's it's it's clearly she's offering a chocolate bar. Or maybe it's you that is offering her the bar. Of course.
Why am I so small?
Well, so, why? That is a good question. Why are you so small? Who knows? Maybe you're tired. You are a volunteer. You're tired after a day's rest, and someone comes up to you for a mirror bar, and you hand it to them. Of course, all in the day's work. Yes, true fans always pay for your chocolate. No, for free. All for free. I don't care how much money I'm throwing into this. I'm giving out these bars for free. No one's paying a dime.
Holy crap!
Yeah, I don't want money. I mean, if you throw money at me for a bar, that's on you, dude. I don't care. It's
Well,
like,
I mean, how much does it cost for you to make? Like, how much does each bar cost to make?
the potential expenses. How much does each bar cost to make? That is, it's gonna take a bit. For everything, the minimum would have to be around like. For each bar, that is a good question. It's gonna be like, probably like, what, $1.50 or $2 for each bar. Like in theory, I haven't done the whole calculations of how much each bar costs because I didn't even care how much each bar would cost. Because I don't
Right.
care. Because if I'm doing it for free, I don't care how much each bar costs.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
so, like, yeah, like, as you notice, like, look at this expense chart here that I have, like, for the milk powder and the granulated sugar and stuff like that, that's gonna cost like $35. The cocoa powder, that's cheap, that's $8. But the cocoa butter, holy, I'm telling you, it's expensive. It is a lot. It is not cheap. I'm just saying. There's a reason. Um, there's a reason chocolate manufacturers cut down the cocoa butter with other things. Now you
Yeah,
know. So
that's like that's like more than half the price, or like two-thirds of the price even.
yeah, it is like half the price or so. It is so expensive. Uh, it's like, no, we pay for chocolate. No, we make our own chocolate. So chocolate chads, we rise. We will litter the venue with so many bear bars. You won't believe it. Well, depending on how many people actually get the bars, because that is why I am very meticulous about how much bars and stuff like that I like to get or like to make,
Hmm.
because the main issue is I'm because it's guaranteed that not everyone will get a bar, like a full mare bar, a full bar. No, not everyone will actually get one. So I need to figure out how to distribute the bars as fairly and evenly as I can, and also ensure that everyone at least kind of like at least gets a piece. I'm sure there's some people that will probably share their bars. I mean, you're eating like 2 ounces worth of chocolate.
Don't judge me.
Like it's like you're eating. It's quite a bit of like as I mentioned earlier, a quarter of a cup of chocolate in one go. I mean, I'm a very skinny person, so that would be a little too much for me. But I'm sure there's some people that would just eat the whole thing in one sitting without a care in the world.
Mm.
Make a make a security question. That
Well,
uh,
but that, yeah.
but we're at Mayfair. What are the odds? There's a good chance that all of y'all will probably answer that question pretty well. But that is the plan. If I could somehow make, man, it's a lot of work. It's gonna be a bit of planning because I'll have to be. If I go, it'll be Wednesday. That I will have to be there. If there's any anons on Wednesday that has like a room or something that are willing to just turn it into a freaking makeshift chocolate factory, then just let me know, I guess, or mention it in the thread or something. I don't know, but let's see what the audience. What are some interesting suggestions from the chat? What does the people have to say about, like, I don't know, either questions that I could possibly answer.
Like suggestions to limit it,
Uh,
or
not limit, but more like what kind of things that the people would like to be interested in seeing. Cause I've had a few thoughts in my mind. Cause I'm thinking about doing an actual panel regarding the bars at Mare Fair.
oh, okay.
I might do that. Like, cause the thing is, I'm also kind of thinking making like along with the batch of chocolate that I'm gonna be using to make, maybe some custom chocolate. Cause as you might have seen earlier, let me look at the wrappers. There is a custom bar option. So if I wanted to, I could make some custom chocolate and just make more chocolate. Ah, of course. Why didn't I think of that? It's genius. Marshmallow ones. I've actually did make some custom, more specific at for Harmony, more specifically peppermint chocolate or peppermint flavored chocolate because someone told me horses love peppermint, so have a chocolate consisting of that. And so I did. Seems that people liked it, the ones that tried it. If you were at HarmonyCon and you didn't get a chance to try the Mare bars, then I apologize, but there's only so much Mare bars to go around. There's only like 7. Rice Krispies. That that's not a bad idea. Well, we'll see what we can do, or at least what I can do. There is a lot of Pop Rocks for Rainbow Dash, mint
Oh,
flavored. Yeah, mint chocolate. That's a thing. Yeah, it's
oh. What about s'mores? Smear s'mores.
smears. That is interesting, huh?
I wonder if it's possible to make marshmallows by yourself.
I think you can make homemade marshmallows. I think that is possible, but the hmm, I'll have to think about how I'll go about it.
Right.
Various custom flavors, but it does make me interested because if I do make like a bar or two, I'm gonna need to figure out how am I supposed to distribute this, because if I only make like 2 bars of like smears, who is the one willing? Who is the one who is worthy enough to try a smears bar? Unless I only bring them to like the room parties or something. I don't know.
Right.
Or the actual panel itself, the Mare Bar panel itself. All the custom flavors are there, and if you were there, you would have the opportunity to try it. I don't know. It's something for me to think about, but it's actually I'm gonna ask the audience what they think of the project overall. Is it a good idea? Is it dumb? Why are you doing this? Is it even worth my time to even go forward with this project altogether? People seem to like it at Harmony that I've asked. People think it's a good
Uh,
idea.
I'm sure you'll get a lot of people telling you not to give them free chocolate.
Yeah, free chocolate needs more milk. Consider Mare milk.
Yeah,
I
they're talking a lot about Maribel.
yeah, they really freaking want Mare milk. Okay, I'll think about it. I'll see if I can do it. if I can actually make Mare milk chocolate or something, I'll see if I can I'll see if I can whip that out. Yes, it people seem to like the idea. I will hand out all of my bars.
Mare milk is a laxative. That's
Is it?
kind of a funny prank.
I don't, but it'd be
Get what
funny.
you want. The bathrooms at Mare Fair. Oh
You
no.
should pay $1. Donate. Um, if you want to donate, then I guess you can. I don't really plan to ever actually monetize the Mare bars in a, like, Mare bars for $5. No, not that. No, I'm not doing that. None. Also, that would require like FDA nonsense, and the venue will be breathing down my neck of the idea of selling any food products. So I think most convention venues and stuff like that will never let that happen, anyways. So there's no, yeah, you would have to jump through hoops of FDA and paperwork, and I am an artist and amateur chocolatier at heart. So, not a business person. I don't care for any of that money, business, paperwork, nonsense stuff. I don't care for that. I just want to throw chocolate at people and have them enjoy it. So, if I'll see what if people do want to do that, then I guess I can see a way of going about it. But or if you were at Mare Fair and you just throw $10 at me and you just yoink a piece of chocolate from my freaking bag or something, then I guess whatever. They're free. So if someone did just went and just grabbed the bar and ran away, then it wouldn't matter, I guess, unless they grabbed too many. You, but yeah,
I think, I mean, like in my experience running the Maravan, which is, it's different, but still. At first, I wanted to do it for free, but with how much it was costing, I decided to open up tips, and people were made it possible to go, for me to look into going bigger and better next year. So
yeah, that
I,
makes
I, I mean, if people want to help out, I wouldn't stop them, but you know,
yeah, that's fair. If they want to do it, let them do it, right?
right. But yeah, I agree. Where like for the Maravan, I would never want to charge anyone for the Maravan. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to charge people for the bars. It's nah. It's it's too. It's already like, it's not profit if it all goes towards the bars.
Hmm.
That's a fair point. If it all goes towards the bars themselves, you don't really make any money from it, anyways.
And like I said, toward making it bigger and better next year, just
Yeah,
you
that's a good
can you
point.
can scale up if you have more money for all the cocoa butter that you need.
Yeah, it's like I'll need more volunteers next year. Just start just grabbing. Like I also do want to like inspire more people to actually do their own like sort of confectionery type stuff as well. So I do hope that, this little presentation like of all like the basic info of chocolate making is worthwhile, for that it'll make some autistic person click their head in the stream like, I have to make Mare chocolate, and then they go about doing it. So they can do that. I personally do want to see more people like do this kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of things that you can use silicone molding for other than chocolate, because you can make like hard candy, you can make gummies, you can make all sorts of other confectionaries and treats that you could make and bring to like the cons and stuff. You know, like it'd be fun. It'd be cool. I'm not trying your chocolate sauce. Any of y'all. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not falling for that. CBD Mare gummies. If you really want to do that, that's on you. That's up to you. If you want to do that, that's not my prerogative. I'm not saying anything that you could, but CBD, THC, those are oils, and you can put that in a chocolate bar. I mean, we've seen, like, if you're that kind of person, you've probably already heard of those things before, anyways. So, Mare Munchies. Yeah, there's Willing their Wonka. Like people mention that to me, like it's like Willy Wonka. You, I'm thinking I might even consider like getting a top hat and just like wearing it around with my bathrobe. You know, just so that people know that that's the guy, that's the mayor bar guy. You know, because otherwise, how are they supposed to know? So yeah, I might. That's going into the mayor bar, but that's going into the budget. By the way, the expenses, yeah, that's going into there. Like money for top hat. There. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna wear a top hat with my robe. Wonga
You,
cosplay. Like
you might look more like your anthropology submission last year.
no, 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 no. Wait, wait. I am not going into Building 7 if that's the case. No, 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 no. No, Pert, why you gotta do that, Stu? Why you, oh, no, no, no. Okay. Oh, okay, had that.
Here for mayors. Uh, Here, I'll cue that video after this.
Alright. Yep, it's not, it's overtime at this point. But, uh, yes, I hope that this has been very informative. This very informative, not Mayfair affiliated project in the works that I do hope becomes pretty successful. Dang, it's only an hour has passed by already. Well,
You can take a little bit more time if you need it.
um, like I don't think there's anything more after that, is there? I don't know.
There's the Deep Rock Galactic panel at 10:30. So you can go up. You can go right up until I have the link for that if you want.
Um, if I want, um, I'm more than happy to just sit here and talk more about suggestions and stuff like that because I haven't really had time to actually like doodle anything or like write down notes and all that. But there's only so much I could really see on my phone.
Yeah, Jargon
uh,
just said his panel's next. Take your time. So whatever you want to do, it's up to you.
all right. Well, I'm like, oh, mare milk powder. That's a thing. Okay.
Well, so I think Mare Milk has a lot more protein, if I'm right. So would
It's
that? Do you think that would mess with the stuff, or is milk just? Does it more just act like a liquid that tastes good, or is there something chemically that matters in the chocolate for the milk?
um, milk is essentially just water and bit and fat inside of it. So milk powder is essentially just the fat portion without the water and other sugars and whatnot. So if you if like you get like you filled a pan with milk and you threw it in a freeze dryer, you would get mirror milk because all the water gets sucked out, and what is left is milk powder. That is essentially it. You get powder, you pour in some water, you mix it, and you get milk again. Vaguely, I mean, yeah, that's how it works. So the milk powder itself, since there's no water in it, it's perfectly fine to throw into your chocolate. Yeah, and yeah, Jargon said take my time. That's fine, because because it did sort of feel like that I rushed things a bit, but you know there was a bit of a stream issues at the beginning, so that kind of
Yeah,
didn't help
sorry
with.
about that.
Yeah, it's all right. It's like this is my first time actually doing any sort of like panels and stuff, so this is a bit of a learning experience for me myself. So
Oh, you did a great job.
yeah, like this is the first time I'm doing any sort of presentation thing, as much as my social skills. It is not the top notch thing in the world, but apparently it'll do, I guess. So that is good to know. Good to see. So Yeah, Jordan says it's fine. Yeah, I guess we can keep going because I'm more than happy to just yeah. Okay, so from let me. I've had people ask me at HarmonyCon regarding the bars. The funny question. You know how often people ask if there was cum in the chocolate? It is way too many. More than they needed to. But luckily, I've explained the reason why you can't do that. Unless you made it into a powdered form, or you dehydrated it somehow. But the last time we've seen someone heated up that kind of liquid did not turn well. So,
Ugh.
ugh, no. No, 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 no. I don't want that. And is there cum in the chocolate? No. You can't you can't do that into the chocolate. No. You can make a chocolate ganache or brownies per se or something. That is the only time you can use untempered chocolate is in sort of baking things. So, if you made untempered chocolate and you throw that into a mix for brownies or whatever, it doesn't matter because the chocolate was gonna melt anyways. So, it's all good. But if you want to make a bar, or if you want to make like, anything that you want to pour into a mold or chocolate egg or a bowl, something of the sort. Or if you're one of those like fancy artists people that use like chocolate to make sculptures or whatever, then you will have to temper your chocolate. Wants to give out chocolate for free, no cum inside. Don't worry. If you really want to be reassured that there isn't any, I can put some on the back of the wrappers explicitly saying there is none. If that makes you feel better. Does it contain mare milk powder? Theoretically, it could. It should work. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. But if I do get my hands on some, I will definitely experiment with that over the course of the months. No. The only nut that is going into those bars will be like almonds. Mimosa likes them. She likes them a lot. She's quite fond of them. Uh, yeah. Well, the custom bars have them inside. Why are you asking for that? Is there something you're not telling me? Uh, anyway, I've had people ask, is there cum inside? Is there drugs inside? Is there laxatives inside? All funny suggestions, but no, they don't. That doesn't mean that they can't. It's just that I don't want to do that. If you make your own laxative mare bar or something, be my guest. I'm not eating your mare bar, by the way. You could make your own mare bars. I actually don't have really much issue if people were to like emulate the design and all that and made their own and like do that kind of stuff, cause it's more of an idea than an actual product. Cause I mean, it can't really be officially be a product. This is just a Mayor Fair shaped themed bar. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's very nice. It's a very nice bar, very nice and pretty. Um, but if you decided I'm gonna design my own chocolate bar, and you go through all the hoops and ropes, and you made your own molds, and you poured your own chocolate and stuff, that's fine by me. Be my guest. Go nuts. If you want to make a sunbeam coin, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of fun things you can do with chocolate, like with the molding aspect of it, at least. um, Sunbeam coins that's not a bad idea to do. I think I remember seeing something like chocolate coins. That's not a bad idea either. If I had like excess chocolate, or if I just didn't feel like making any more Mare bars and have leftover chocolate to work with, I could make some like sunbeam coins or something. You could do that. Another thing that I had in mind is to make holographic chocolate. Um, that I do want to like, if I can, if I'm really able to, I want to make a holographic sunbeam coin because I think it'll just look cool. Um, and what holographic chocolate is at the very rudimentary, easy thing um, is you use the power of like diffraction grating because there's like sheets of diffraction grating. It manipulates the properties of light to like split it into like essentially prism like rainbows and stuff like that, like a rainbow like effect. If you ever seen those holographic stickers, like iridescent holographic, like nice and rainbowy shine to it, like it's like that. Uh, and if you use that, and you pour tempered chocolate on that kind of type of grating or texture to it, the chocolate will crystallize on the surface. You know, 1 to 1 with that diffraction grating. And what they'll do is once you peel off the grating, is it leaves that same texture on the chocolate, which should, in theory, which it does work in practice, split light into, you know, various colors. So you could actually do that, and it looks pretty cool. Like actually, wait, you can whether you can make molds out of them. I think you can do that. I think it's possible to make a mold out of them. It might be a little it might be a little tedious, but I have an electric cutting machine that will help with that whole process. Yeah, holographic chocolate. It is very rainbowy. It looks pretty. So I want to do that. I want to cut out some holographic, like diffraction grating sheets or whatever into like sunbeams, and then put that, cast it into a silicone mold, you know, and then that should, in theory, leave the texture on the silicone itself. So when you pour in your chocolate, it should pop out with a holographic sunbeam. I If I can get that to work, I'm absolutely bringing that mold to the convention with me to like make some holographic sunbeam coins. I think it'll look pretty sick if I can pull that off. Let's see. The grading isn't that expensive either. It's like $20 on like Amazon or something. Like it's not relatively expensive, but it's gonna require a little bit of experimenting because there's a few ifs and buts that I need to sort out before I can really actually like go forward with actually making holographic chocolate. It'd be really cool though. I really would like to do that. Maybe like a next. It could be a next year thing. It could be a year after that. It could be, who knows. I'll see what I can think of at that point because I do want to do that. There's a lot of things you can do with making chocolate molds. Like just about anything really is possible if you want to make, if you want to make an actual like pony figure, or a shape of a pony. You can do that. You can do that with a mold. You can make any design. I'm not gonna question what kind of designs that y'all are gonna come up with, but it's it's gonna be something. So, and I do hope this project does become successful. At least I hope that it does, because I do like the idea of like giving chocolate out in theory at least, because I don't know how things will go actually turn out in practice, but there's only really one way to find out, and that is to really just do it. So, and it's gonna take quite a bit of time, which I luckily do have all the time that I need. So, I got 7 months to plan this all out, so I really hope that I can get this. I can really get this working. Live streaming chocolate, not seafood. Look, I'm not. Okay, a maybe seafood dinner, but that doesn't mean that I can make a shrimp frying stream. I mean, there is no way I am frying that rice.
Well, what if you change your name to Chocolate Dinner?
That hmm, that'd be interesting thought. But at the same time, what would a chocolate dinner even consist of?
Uh, Chocolate in shapes of foods, like a turkey, but it's
Oh,
made out of
turkey
chocolate. You
chocolate.
know,
Oh my god, oh my god. That's cursed. But I mean, yeah, I guess that's biting into it. Jeez.
and then
Just
gravy. That's chocolate ganache. My
uh,
my own secret recipe.
your own secret recipe. Yes, of course. Um, Another idea that I have for my Mare bar panel, if I were to actually go forward with it, is to make like a bunch of ribbons, like little, those badge ribbon thingies. Um, because what I want to do, if you let me load up the chocolate bar composition, ratios. Yeah. So notice the fact that there's not a lot of cocoa powder in either composition for both milk and dark chocolate. So for my Marabar panel, if I do that at Fair for reals, um, what I want to do is make a custom chocolate bar, and it's essentially it would be pure raw chocolate. Basically, all of this would also be cocoa powder. Just all of this, all of this would just be cocoa powder, straight up, no sugar, no nothing. Which says a lot because that would mean that such a bar, if I can do that, would have more actual cocoa solid material than actual cocoa beans. Straight up, the strongest chocolate bar that you could imagine making, and then make people try it at the panel. And then if they do, I can give them a little badge ribbon that says that they tried it, because it would taste very bitter. It wouldn't taste good at all. I mean, personally, I don't like dark chocolate. That's just my taste. But the my dark chocolate is a bit tolerable for me. I can work with that. So, but yeah, if you were to make 100% dark chocolate, it would be roughly around this composition because that's just what the average cocoa bean would have. So if you grounded them all up into 100% cocoa bar, you would it would have some sort of composition like this. But my Mare bar, if I swapped out all the sugar here in the dark chocolate with that, that would be a lot. So we'll see. And then I can have people try it at the panel, give them ribbons if they go with it. Maybe have other sorts of varieties of chocolate, all sorts of nice, fancy, custom chocolates that you, the people, have suggested, and I will take note of. And maybe, if you're lucky, I might actually make a bar like that, and I'll show it off at the panel. It's we're getting way too willy. We're getting way too wonka up in here, making custom bars and just showing them off to everybody. But where else would you get it? Other than at Mare Fair, is there a chance that I might make more Mare bars at the other conventions? Maybe. I don't go to many conventions anyways. I go to like two or three. So, and Mare Fair is one of them. So you gotta pick and choose. I'm not. I'm not that rich. I'm not. I'm not gonna go to all the cons. So uh, if you want to get a chance to try Mare Bar, then you only have like a few opportunities to actually go try it. If I were to actually bring some with me, of course. There's a good chance I probably will bring them, like maybe like a few. Not like hundreds, but like maybe like 10. And I just bring that with me to the room parties. Because I managed to work enough with like 7 at HarmonyCon when I brought them with me. Uh, I don't plan to bring like a lot, because obvious reasons why I can't really work with that much chocolate. But I do hope that if this project becomes successful and it gets a bit more assistance, I guess I can bump the numbers up. I can bump the numbers of chocolate up to like I don't know how many. That's a future thing. And maybe I can step things up a notch with like maybe other flavors, like an espresso bar or like a coffee flavored or something. Maybe I'll actually get enough funding for myself to like get a what do you call it, like a wet grinder, and actually make smooth chocolate with it. That's a little too far fetched of a plan because a lot of money, but hey, if it's doable, then I'm also work with that and maybe see what kind of what kind of chocolate what kind of smooth chocolate I can make. So I do hope that it gets successful. I do hope that more people do this sort of thing, because I really do like the whole like idea behind it. I like it, in my opinion. I Because there's a lot to really just go through, and being even sure that this whole thing even works out the way that I want it to. For one thing, the air conditioning at the venue, I hope that's fixed, because if I get a room that doesn't get any good air conditioning, I'm kind of screwed. So, but I do hope they get the air conditioning issues fixed. Or if I'm just lucky. So, yeah, if you could think that, oh, this is a lot of effort. I don't care. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of everything, really. But I do it for the mares. That's really what that matters at the end of the day. The mares. You do it for the mares. And if you don't make homemade chocolate that a mare would want to eat, are you really, you know, chocolate tearing to the max? Are you really mare maxing your chocolate skills? Yes, mares. That is the end of the day. So if you have your own trinkets and stuff that you want to make, but you think to yourself, this is a lot of money, then you gotta think about the mares. Is it worthwhile? I think so, for my own project. Personally, that I want to do this. Because it's just what I want to do. And I'm hoping that more people follow along. I might even expand the things that I even make at some point. Maybe. Just more like candy confectionery type things. I don't know. I guess that's a future thing to think about. It's a lot to really think about. But yeah,
Okay.
the chocolate at Mare Fair. Only at Mare Fair. Would you get a good amount of chocolate? You have good odds of getting a chocolate bar. Doesn't mean that you will, but I will try my best to at least, spread it around because what like if I made like 100 bars minimum, because that is the minimum that I want to make. If I make like 100, then that well like if 600 people show up, that's like one out of every six people will get a mirror bar, which is I mean quite frankly those are decent odds actually, but like for overall, but twist. No.
All right, seafood. I'm gonna cut you off. Sorry.
All right, that's all right. It's fine. We can end it here now because there's not really much more to elaborate on for the time being. So, if the Mayor Fair threads pop up at some point, then I could probably post my progress on my development on the bars there, you know. So if that's you want more info, that's probably the best place to go look into because this is a project for that con specifically, not affiliated, but gotta really put that in there just because there's always gonna be that one person that'll probably say something about that. No, I am not affiliated. This project is not affiliated. So, yes, that is it. If you enjoyed the stream, if you enjoyed the project, if you enjoyed my my socially authentic babble, then I'm glad you do. So, so thank you very much, everybody. Every pony. Thank you very much. And I'll see y'all on the flip side or something.